Okay, so that old TV, you know the one I mean, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's gathering dust in the attic or the spare room.
Yeah, it's a familiar sight for a lot of folks. A relic of past tech.
And deep down, you can't just, well, toss it in the bin with the regular trash.
Mm.
But figuring out what to do with it, that feels like another hassle.
It really does. It's a common challenge, especially with bulky electronics like TVs. Getting rid of them responsibly seems complicated sometimes.
Exactly, and that's what we're digging into today. We're looking at a service that actually makes it straightforward, especially if you're here in Pierce County.
Right. Specifically thinking about areas like Bonney Lake, Prairie Ridge, Sumner, Puyallup.
Summit, Waller, Midland, Fife, Milton, Edgewood.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Lakeland South, Federal Way, Tacoma, Parkland, and Spanaway, too. Basically, North Pierce County.
Perfect. So our mission for this deep dive is understanding why responsible TV disposal is so critical and, how easy it can actually be in these local communities.
Okay, so first off, that old TV just sitting there might seem pretty harmless. But just putting it out on the curb, that has real environmental consequences. These things aren't just simple plastic and glass.
Okay, so what's the big deal then? What's actually in them that makes it such a problem?
Well, let's take those older, heavier CRT TVs, the big boxy ones.
Mm-hmm.
They contain a surprising amount of leaded glass. We're talking potentially several pounds of lead per TV.
Pounds of lead. Wow, okay.
Yeah. And then you've got the newer flat screens. They might not have the leaded glass, but they often contain mercury, especially in the backlights.
Mercury, right. Also not good.
Definitely not. Plus, both types often have things like brominated flame retardants in the plastics and circuit boards, which are also, environmental concerns.
Yeah. So if these just end up in a landfill, I'm guessing that's bad news.
Exactly. When the casings break down, those materials, the lead, the mercury, the flame retardants, can leach out into the soil.
And potentially into the groundwater.
Precisely, which can contaminate local ecosystems and potentially our water sources. It's why many landfills actually prohibit or really restrict dumping electronics nowadays. They know the risks.
Okay, so that makes sense. You can't just trash it. So for someone listening in Pierce County, say in Puyallup or Tacoma with an old TV, what's the practical answer?
Well, that brings us to the solution we mentioned. There's a local company, Rapid Haul Away, based right in Bonney Lake.
And they serve all those areas we listed earlier.
They do, all across North Pierce County. And they specifically specialize in responsible TV removal and recycling.
And the key thing seems to be they make it easy. Like you don't need to wrestle that thing yourself.
That's the beauty of it. They handle all kinds of TVs, old CRTs, newer flat screens, big ones, small ones, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Their team comes to your place, home or business, with the right equipment, the manpower.
And they'll grab it from wherever it is. Basement, upstairs bedroom.
Yep. Living room, garage, wherever. You literally don't have to lift a finger. They do all the heavy lifting and maneuvering.
That is a huge plus, honestly. And they know how to handle the different types safely. Since you mentioned CRTs and flat screens have different stuff inside.
Correct. They understand the specific hazards like the lead in CRTs or the mercury lamps in some flat screens. They're trained to handle them properly.
And then what happens? They just take it away, but where does it go?
So they partner with certified e-waste recycling facilities. Their commitment is really towards environmental responsibility.
Meaning they try to recycle parts.
Absolutely. As
Yeah.
much as possible. Think about it. There's valuable stuff inside, too. Copper wiring, circuit boards have precious metals, plastics, other metals.
Right. Stuff that can be recovered and reused.
Exactly. Resource recovery. It reduces the need to mine new materials, which saves energy and lessens the environmental impact overall.
That's good. Do they ever try to, donate working TVs?
Yeah, they mentioned they explore donation options, too, if the TV is still functional.
Yeah.
Giving it a second life is always a great first option, if possible.
Okay, makes sense. Let's tackle a couple of quick questions folks might have. We touched on it, but just to be clear, putting an old TV out with the regular garbage, definitely not recommended, right?
Definitely not. Bad for the environment because of those hazardous materials leaching out. And like we said, often it's actually against local disposal rules anyway. Recycling is the way to go.
Got it. And what about other electronics if you're doing a bigger clear out?
Good question. Yes, Rapid Haul Away isn't just for TVs. They handle a whole range of electronic waste.
Like computers, printers.
Yep. Computers, monitors, printers, laptops, old phones, gaming consoles. Basically, a pretty comprehensive e-waste solution, so you can tackle it all at once.
That's convenient. So if someone listening in, say, Federal Way or Sumner or Spanaway, has an old TV or a pile of e-waste ready to go, What's the best way to contact Rapid Haul Away?
They make it super easy. You can actually just text them for a free quote. The number is 253-820-6311.
Text for a quote. Nice and simple.
Yeah, just send a picture or describe what you've got. Quick and easy first step.
And just to recap, they cover a wide area: Bonney Lake, Puyallup, Tacoma, Federal Way, Sumner, Parkland, Milton, all those North Pierce County spots.
That's right. And beyond e-waste, they do offer other junk removal services too. Furniture, general clutter, appliance removal, property cleanouts, that sort of thing.
Useful to know. And what about pricing? Any surprises there?
They emphasize a what we quote is what you pay promise. So transparency is key for them. No hidden fees popping up later.
Good. And if texting isn't your thing?
You can also call that same number, 253-820-6311, or shoot them an email at rapidhaulaway@gmail.com.
Okay. And is there an online option?
Yep, you can also book directly through their website, and they often have a little discount, like 10% off for booking online.
Great options. So it really sounds like getting rid of that old TV responsibly in Pierce County